particular ecosystem you're focusing on?
No, not really.
It's pretty mixed.
I try to be as multi-dimensional as possible because there's just, obviously it's impossible to, be on top of everything. But
wait, like you could do like 50 AMAs a day, I guess.
Yeah, I would, and then my wife would kill me. I probably already do too much for her liking.
Anyone else from the Arbitrum side lately? I see Burpee, I see Factor.
Yeah, those are the most recent ones. Let's see. Yeah, we did Factor recently. Yeah, we had Burpee. I like Con a lot. Let's see.
Is Mugen? Are they on layer 0?
Yeah. Let's see. I reached out to you guys. Did a handle file a while back ago. And then, I've reached out to some others. It's just kind of. I was supposed to working on getting one with Camelot whenever they have some time open up.
Yeah, they're pretty busy.
Yeah, they're super busy. I had one lined up with them early, but just with their launch and everything, we kind of shifted to try to do it later. Yeah. So, but I, big fan of Mirrodin. So, and then so
really proud to have them as a partner and be one of the earliest roundtable members.
Yeah, they're awesome dudes. I loved what they built, on Phantom. So I was big into Excalibur when that first launched. And so obviously, what can you do about, what happened with the tether fiasco? Not their fault.
I wasn't following that. I just saw some FUD threads pop up lately, like around the Trove launch about Camelot and like old baggage, but it doesn't seem like they did anything wrong. So
I'm not really sure how you can put people hopping into the hype because, I think a lot of people also don't understand that Camelot went down after the pre-sale too. So, and then it just skyrocketed after. And so I think people had the wrong idea that every single thing that's going to take off or is going to come through their launch pad is just going to be this gold mine.
And not every token has the same tokenomics as Grail. Like most of Grail get burned when you convert too early. Like Trove and the others, they don't necessarily have that. But like the fair launch model is nice. It's great. It's fair. But it doesn't work for every token. If you have massive emissions afterwards, it's going to be sell pressure.
Yeah. I think people are just, that's one of those times when following a trend does not actually work out in your favor, just because, it's launching on their launch pad, so I'm going to get rich. And it's, maybe you should actually do your research and understand what you're actually buying into. Is holding that governance token going to be worth it?
You're buying, like, you are putting your funds up and you accept that you will pay final price when after the last FOMO person has put in their funds, you will all pay the same price.
Yep.
So, maybe not the most intuitive model when you're used to like kept sales and everything. Well, it'll take some time for these two to balance out, I guess.
Yeah, if you're my thing is with some of those launchpad stuff, if you're gonna buy in, you should probably be buying into something you think is gonna do well for a period of time. So, which to each their own, but you can't complain if you and I watched the first 2 days of that pre-sale and it was just exploding, and it was clearly going to be oversold, and clearly people were coming into it for the wrong sentiment, but people just weren't paying attention and just kept going, and it's
what did we close at, like 8K ETH or something?
Oh yeah, it was like 12 million or something crazy like that. Which is nuts, maybe even higher than that, but that's just a ton for a pre-sale. But so it's going through right now. But anyways, onto Buffer. Yeah, so I really appreciate you joining us. Normally I would do kind of an intro, but we've already been talking for a bit. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on.
I see a bunch of people from the Buffer community in the audience already, but I'll still do a short intro. Or CK based or Lysis. I go by a bunch of names. My real name is Stefan. I'm the social media manager for Buffer Finance, which is a decentralized exotic options platform, trading platform on Arbitrum and soon Polygon. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Yeah, glad to have you on here. I'm glad we connected. So I've been looking forward to this. I've been following you guys for quite a while because I'm paying a lot of attention to the options trend, even though it's pretty early for the sentiment overall. But I've been following you guys for a while since you launched, so I was excited to get you on here. So first, do you kind of want to give just a kind of a high level overview of everything that Buffer has to offer?
Sure. So as I said, Buffer is an exotic options trading platform. We don't do the traditional vanilla style options that, for example, Hedgig offers. At the moment, we offer binary options, which is very simple. You have binary outcome, either the price goes up or the price goes down. So you can simply select your asset. We have a bunch of crypto pairs, a bunch of Forex pairs, and commodities, which are currently not available, but will be added soon. So you simply pick, let's say, British pound versus USD Forex pair, and then you make a prediction on how the price will develop in the next 5 minutes to 4 hours. You have to select the end time of your option, basically. So say you pick 5 minutes, you think the price will go up. That's the only two things you have to select. You confirm your trade. All the trades are happening in USDC, and the timer starts. And if the price moved in the correct direction, you get instant payout. On Forex pairs, it's between 70 and 80% base payout. On the crypto pairs, it's 60 to 70%. And that's our core product at the moment. Every trade incurs fees. They are deducted upfront. It's 15% of the total position. So whether you win or lose, that has no effect on fee generation of the platform. These fees are split between the stakers of our native token, which is BFR. They receive 40% of the fees, and the remaining 60% of the fees go to our liquidity providers who provide liquidity in USDC in the BLP pool. If you're familiar with GMX, we copied or forked their yield share model. Basically, it's the same system as GMX and GLP, and rewards are paid out in USDC and escrowed BFR, which, it's an escrow token version. You cannot sell it, you cannot transfer it, but you can convert it into liquid BFR by putting it in a vault, and over 365 days, it slowly matures into BFR. Some numbers maybe we just hit. Well, I have to preface this. We had a major platform upgrade on the 30th of January. So all these numbers, they are accounted from then onwards.
Yeah. Real quick, don't want to cut you off, but I got some questions I want to ask you about there. So don't want you to launch too much into all of it. But yeah, I am looking forward to talking about some of those numbers because you guys did do a huge upgrade, and so I'm kind of interested to dive into some of the features there. One of the questions that I had, kind of a not necessarily just a Buffer question, is kind of your view of the state of options trading in DeFi, and what's really gonna kind of shift the sentiment towards kind of giving options their moment in the sun?
Yeah, well, that's the big challenge of onboarding TradFi traders and educating them on all the pitfalls and struggles of DeFi, and educating DeFi natives on the rather complex nature of options. So there's one goal and two main challenges, I think, because the options trading is fairly complex and riskier than some might think. You can abstract a lot of it away, but it's much more complicated than, say, perps trading. What we're trying to do is to offer a very simplified product. We started out with more vanilla type options on Binance Smart Chain originally, but the interest simply wasn't there. And we will bring them back to the platform, but like a guaranteed way to really bring adoption to this niche in DeFi, we haven't figured one out yet. The other ones, Dopex and Hedgic and so on, they're doing well, but yeah, it's the big wave, the big expected wave of TradFi players switching over hasn't happened so far, and seems pretty far off. So yeah, we'll try to offer the most simplified version, and then slowly add complexity to our products, instead of offering the most complex and customizable setup, and then trying to get people in this way. So I guess in a way we'll try to grow with our trader community.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I totally agree. Options trading is, and I'm not a great trader, right? I'm slowly kind of learning and digging into it myself, but options trading is not super simple, and definitely not as simple as trading perps. And that's just, like you said, it's going to take a lot of that education, which I know you guys have some of that in your Discord. You have some like videos and opportunities for people to get an understanding. Which is great. But yeah, we're quite a bit away, I think, from people fully understanding kind of the massive potential that options really has. Yeah. Even though there are projects such as yourself, trying to take advantage and corner that market before it really starts. So very cool. And then also something that I've been interested in for a while, because I have done some of this on the outside of crypto native or DeFi native projects, is the Forex trading. And I say I've done it, aka I've paid someone to do it for me, based off fees, because I don't have the time to pay attention to it myself. But I've been.
How did that work out?
It's going well. One of the projects is going well.
No.
I've made some money. I'm almost flush on what I put in, just based off rewards, so I can't complain there. One of them is not going bad. Well, one of them has other problems. We can talk about that later. I'm just trying to get my money out of that one as soon as possible, and put it back into something different. Maybe just a traditional finance investment for mine. We'll see. But anyways, yeah. So Forex trading. So what is your kind of view on Forex trading, right? So HandleFi has launched some Forex. You guys are launching Forex. But I think that there's a negative sentiment towards Forex trading. And so some people think it's shady, some people think it's illegal, and et cetera, et cetera. But why did you guys decide to kind of go for Forex as well as the options?
Mostly based on demand, really. Like we're collecting a lot of feedback from our traders and listening to their feedback and what they want to see. The volumes in Forex trading, of course, globally are insane, unbelievable numbers. Like I'm not an options trader or derivatives trader myself much, But every time I take a look at the numbers on what the market size actually is, I really can't believe it. Like these trillions and trillions of dollars. What's great in forex trading for our current setup with the binary options is they're very hard to manipulate. There's very high volume in these, so they're fun to trade, they're fun to look at, and we're very safe from price manipulation. And we've had some exploits in the past with low volume pairs like AVEX. When we had a single exchange price feed, we only used Binance, and you could manipulate the AVEX pair with a couple $100 to influence the outcome of your buffer binary positions. So forex is a completely safe haven for us, basically. As long as we get a decent price feed, we can always keep that offer up, that product going, and due to the high volatility and volume, we can offer more attractive payouts on forex pairs. So one of the most requested asset types on the platform, and the volume on them is picking up. Like the top volume for the day is first and second place are both forex pairs. So Euro USD and British Pound USD.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, that is something that, as I saw a couple of the Forex projects start to launch early on, I was relatively new to DeFi, but I knew a lot about Forex trading, and I'd wondered why, with the amount of money that is in Forex, why it hadn't been brought. And I know it's like, it took some, price feeds and oracles and stuff like that, and the ability to bring that real-time pricing on chain first. But I was wondering, it always kind of shocked me that there wasn't more of a move to it, just with the amount of money that's there to be made. So, but yeah, I mean, that's also cool. What
you said something. I haven't heard any negative sentiment in regards to forex trading now. Like, could you go into that a little?
Yeah, well, I guess it's been, since, I guess it's been a little while since I had the conversations, but yeah, some of the people I was talking to within our Discord, had, just bad feelings towards Forex trading. And I think, I don't know if that's whether they'd had bad experiences or they had just kind of heard bad things, or whether that's a kind of lack of experience in the Forex trading themselves.
I think trading definitely follows its own rules, and you have to stay on top of other things than with, say, stocks or crypto. So yeah, if you're unfamiliar, you're bound to get wrecked on any asset you trade you're not intimately familiar with.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and like I said, I always thought it was kind of weird with, we talk about the amount, trying to bring more volume and just total value into DeFi, and we talk about how DeFi is such a fraction of the total amount of money that's moving around the world, and the ability to bring this on a chain is what just brings a ton of different opportunities.
Yeah, and it always puts DeFi into perspective. Like if you spend all your day in DeFi space talking to people who are in the same space, you kind of get the feeling that this is a global phenomenon. It is, that is much bigger than it actually is. Like the number of traders, especially in a market phase like this, the people who are really using the products is tiny. It's a few 10,000 at most. So there's a long way to go to onboard these traditional markets that deal in numbers for volume that aren't even imaginable for most DeFi platforms.
Yeah, totally agree.
The tiniest fraction of the forex volume on a platform like Buffer would blow the whole project up, like even 1% of the volume, even 0.5% of the total forex volume.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money waiting to come on chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool, very cool. Yeah, I like that you guys are doing that. Options is complicated. I don't think Forex is actually that complicated, even with my limited, personal trading experience. So the fact that you have multiple avenues for traders to explore there is great. So let's kind of dig into Buffer itself just a little bit more. So currently for your crypto pairs, you guys just have basically kind of blue chip trading. What's your overall plans for expansion on the options available?
The last one we did was what we do. We always collect community feedback, of course. We can add basically any crypto pair that we get a solid price feed from multiple exchanges for. We will run our own Oracle. We aggregate prices across a couple different platforms. So any of the major ones we can add. We have to be careful, of course, with hyped but still very manipulative pairs that are easy to manipulate. For example, if we were to add, I don't know, GMX, for example, binary options on GMX, there's still quite a few people who would be able to manipulate the GMX price to influence their binary positions outcome. So we do want to add consistently. We're currently in the process of basically polishing the platform, adding as many quality of life features as possible. That includes listing additional pairs. My idea, and it's been well received by the team, is to institute a voting system. So we would publish a list of addable pairs because we don't want to add them all in one go. It would be nice for the traders, but product development wise, it's better to spread that out a bit, like weekly or every 2 weeks, add a couple of pairs. So we would publish a list of all the pairs we could add, and then just have our holders and users vote on the most popular ones and then add these, which would make sure we always add the most popular ones and basically work down a demand list for tokens and asset types.
Yeah, makes sense. And yeah, you definitely can't be adding, illiquid shit coins on here, and watching people get wrecked because, like you said, it's super easy to manipulate with relatively small amounts of money, honestly.
Exactly.
So, it's very cool. Yeah, I'm interested to kind of see what you guys roll out in the future as well. Obviously, sticking with blue chips is the safest bet, especially for. Go ahead.
I would like to see some very really exotic stuff. Like we can add anything we have a price feed for. So I would love to see maybe, I don't know, the energy market, European Energy Exchange. They have a price feed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask next, is what you guys were looking at for like true exotic pairs. Yeah.
So any of our users, traders, people who are interested in binary options, always you can DM me a list of improvement suggestions or pairs you want to see, or pop into our Telegram or Discord and just let us know what you want to trade. Because as I said, as long as there's volume and we can get a price feed for it, we can add it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, you see stuff like Landex that's doing crop shares.
Exactly.
Things like that. And then you guys are looking at energy sector, which is obviously, lots of money there, and definitely a huge market,
Because for people who aren't familiar with binary options at all, we don't need liquidity in the underlying asset. You're not trading the actual asset. You're really just trading the price volatility. So if we add BTC, we don't need a treasury of BTC or anything like that. So that's why we're so free to add any kind of asset.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I think that would be really cool to see, is being able to go on there and traders who aren't really interested in messing around necessarily with Bitcoin and trading the volatility there, but are interested in all those other exotic type options.
And they're so correlated, because when I do find time to trade, you always, depending on your preferences, whatever you do in TA wise and whatever, you're always looking for setups. You're not going to watch the chart for 5 hours until something develops. You're going to skip through the charts and see if something pops up, some setup you like, you want to trade. If you only have crypto pairs, they're all correlated. Bitcoin moves, the rest moves. It's pretty boring to look at. Most of the charts look the same. But just having crypto and Forex and commodities when they're back, silver and gold initially, they're being optimized. So you have much more variety of market stages and chart setups. You can go through and find something you find interesting.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. I mean, me personally, I just love staring at charts all day. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how to do TA, and I don't trust myself on that. Depends. I do like watching like brand new shitcoin charts when they go ballistic. As long as I didn't buy the top, which would be the entire basically first year of my DeFi career was buying the top. So watching charts was dangerous for me.
I spent countless nights just waking up and opening Binance. Like, the early days were crazy. I couldn't sleep because it was, I started trading very late. I got into Bitcoin very early, but I started trading very late. So in 2021, I think. And so Bitcoin had just hit 64K. I sold the last Bitcoin dust I still had from early on and started trading, and everything was like still pumping. So these first couple of weeks I was glued to the charts, but I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Hey, at least you sold near the top.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big win, because I know quite a few people who were buying Bitcoin at 68. You know, oh, it's going to 100. Oh, it's going to 100. Well, I hope
it is going to 100. Not anytime soon.
No, not right now. And certainly not last year. So yeah. So all right. So cool. So let's talk about some of the numbers that you published. Let's what are you seeing for your daily active traders, your daily volume, all the different statistics after you guys made your upgrades.
Let me bring up the stats page here. So we just hit two interesting benchmarks or thresholds. We crossed 1 million total trade volume since the upgrade on the 30th. And 2 days ago or 3 days ago, we hit $100,000 in fees. But today we're already at $127,000 in fees. So these are pretty significant, pretty big milestones. We had a pretty good start with, about like around 80K, 60K of daily volume, and then kind of tapered off because we took Forex pairs off the market for a while to make some optimizations there. We had, there's no need to get into it, but the crypto pairs and the Forex pairs are now completely separate systems. So these don't interfere with each other at all. If something breaks on the crypto side, the Forex side isn't affected and vice versa. So dropped off a little bit. Forex came back a couple days ago, and then the last 2 days or 3 days were pretty crazy. We had $200,000 in fees, some really big winners. Someone made crazy money on the Sol pair, made like 30,000 or something in profit. So that ramped up quite a bit. The total P&L of our traders is positive at the moment. So the liquidity pool the BIP token dropped below $1. Right now, for users, what's this? Yeah, we have about 60 to 70 daily users, and there's a steady growth of new people coming in, starting to trade. It's despite being very simplified and really just two buttons are required to trade, Buffer still takes some degree of education to understand what you're actually doing on the platform, and what's possible, how the payouts work, what you need, how to get funds on Arbitrum even. So we're ramping up efforts to onboard lots of traders. We're making our tutorials and all that stuff accessible in multiple languages. We're working on having the DEP available in multiple languages. We have our Buffer Prime Club initiative, which is onboarding educators and people who trade live. Basically, they would host live streaming sessions, trading sessions, and all that stuff. So that's after we made sure that the platform's running smoothly and everything is working as intended, the pool is healthy. We're now ramping up the onboarding side of things. So yeah, looking forward to the next couple months and putting out tons of content.
Yeah, that'll be super cool, and I'll talk to you offline about a couple different connections I got that could probably help you tremendously with a couple of those things.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll talk after this. But yeah, great statistics since your move to Arbitrum. I know you guys weren't as successful as you'd hoped to be on Binance and made a quick pivot, and it was obviously a good move.
A quick pivot, I don't know, but
quick enough, I guess.
Yeah, quick enough, and the right choice to move to Arbitrum and go with that more simplified route. Our founders are TradFi traders. They come from the TradFi space, from the derivatives space and options space. They of course want to integrate these traditional types as well, because this is still the core market and the most exciting thing, I think, for TradFi players would be real equivalent option platforms in the DeFi space. So that's coming to Buffer as well in the future, but for now we're staying with the more simplified setup.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you can get more advanced as you get the right people on. So
exactly. Yeah. As I said before, ideally we grow with our DeFi native user base and slowly educate them on what's possible in the option space.
Yeah, and it gives you a selling point for the TradFi adoption is, well, look what we built just with DeFi native. Look how we can scale this with real TradFi money coming on. So it's definitely a great approach. All right, very cool. So yeah, congrats so far. You guys are doing, are seeing good numbers and doing pretty well, especially what is, considered a kind of a somewhat niche market currently in DeFi. So so let's very cool. So let's kind of move on. I got a couple questions just kind of about your tokenomics. You had mentioned earlier about some of the fees going, being rewarded. So what is kind of the rewards breakdown for both for the stakers?
So we adjust these APRs weekly. So I'm just going to talk about the ones for this week. If you stake BFR, currently there's, I think, 28 million BFR in circulation, and 18 million of those are staked on our platform. If you stake BFR, there's no lockup period or anything. You can stake and unstake whenever you want, and you receive part of the platform fees in USDC. The base APR for that is 7.66% at the moment. And on top of that, you get rewards in escrow BFR. As I said before, you can't sell that. You have to put it in a vault, let it mature, and convert into liquid BFR over the course of 365 days. The APR for that is 9%. So in total, we're at about 16-17% APR for the BFR stakers. You can raise your USDC share of rewards by compounding your rewards and accruing multiplier points. They're pretty complex. I'm not going to get into them, but yeah, that's how you would raise the percentage of USDC rewards you would get. And on the BLP side of things, so the USDC liquidity vault is currently capped at 2 million, so only 2 million USDC can be in the vault. We chose to cap it because we want to grow that with platform usage and fee income to have sustainable APR, and also because this is our current cap on the insurance for smart contract exploits we have with our audit partner, Sherlock. So the Buffer team has always taken a security-first approach when it comes to user funds. We could there's plenty of demand for people to deposit USDC into our vault. There's daily requests to raise the cap, but it wouldn't be insured, so we're not doing it. We're in talks with Sherlock, of course, to raise that insurance threshold, but until that's done, we're not going to increase that pool. So USDC providers are exposed to risk. The exchange rate for this BLP liquidity provider token versus USDC depends on the performance of the traders on the platform. If they win, they remove funds from this liquidity pool. If they lose, the funds remain in there. So if there's a very profitable large trades, the overall USDC liquidity drops and the exchange rate drops, and that's the risk you're exposed to. The APR for the liquidity providers is, after the recent adjustment, is 15.36% in USDC, so 15% APR in stablecoins, and on top of that, 11% in ESBFR. So a total of 26.5% currently for stablecoin providers. But the pool is full at the moment. You can't add any funds to it. Yeah, that's the staking and yield share model for Buffer.
Yeah, very cool. And then you also have payout boost rewards from your NFT mint. You want to talk about that a little bit?
That's what I love talking about. We do have an NFT collection. They're called the Optopy. There are octopuses that trade options. That's why they're called that. And they can, if you're in the space, you can see a couple of them. As the profile pictures, mine is one, Nick has one, Big Pharma has one. So they serve as like generic profile pictures if you want to use them that way, but their main utility is meant to be for traders on the platform. So what they do is they give you payout boosts on every trade you make. The NFTs have 4 tiers: silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Diamond gives 12% payout boost, and silver gives 2.5%. Gold gives 5%, and platinum gives 8%. So on any trade you make on any pair on Buffer, if you hold, say, a diamond tier NFT, you get 12% extra payout. It's applied to the base payout. So let's take one of the Forex pairs here. Euro USD. Forex pair has a base payout of 80%. With the diamond tier NFT, that would be 92%. So if you make a trade and you pick the right direction, you would get 92% paid out in profit immediately. So that's their core utility. What they also do is we are adding trading leagues to the platform. So those would be like daily, weekly, monthly tournaments. They're funded through part of the fees. And if you hold an NFT, you would get direct access to the respective trading league of that tier. What they also do is they give you access to our VIP community layer, which is for now mostly the Discord channel, where our traders and analysts and educators who are being onboarded share all their knowledge about derivatives trading in general, TA, trading strategies, hedging strategies, all that stuff. You get access to that. You will also, in the future, be able to govern the development of the Op2P side of things. This is just the starting setup, basically. We want to morph or transform the Op2P into a separate product layer. Not separate, but not entirely tied to Buffer or the BFR token. So we would work on building our own treasury, our own streams of income, and our own partnership is basically integrations with other protocols, mutual benefits with other protocols who would maybe also launch utility NFTs for shared utility on both platforms, all that stuff. There's I'll finish up the Op2P roadmap, I think next week, and then publish that. But there's a lot of fun stuff planned. For example, lots of people weren't so lucky with minting and minted a bunch of lower tier NFTs, and they don't really know what to do with them because there's currently a little bit more supply in the market than we have active traders. But you'll be able to stake these lower tier NFTs and basically convert them into a voucher type thing for a higher payout. And what I also want to build is a market for these vouchers and a lending market. So if you're maybe not an active trader, but you minted Op2P and you got lucky, you got a diamond tier NFT, but you really don't trade, but you don't necessarily want to sell it on the open market, you would be able to lend it out to traders who maybe just want to test out the platform or trade a particular event and don't want to make the upfront investment of buying the highest tier because they're pretty pricey. They're around 0.9 ETH at the moment, I think. So you would just be able to lend those out for an upfront fee. You'll have to negotiate with the buyer on that. So we would just provide a marketplace, take some fees, and build up the treasury that way. Yeah, that's our NFTs.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Yeah, you got a lot planned there. So excited to see that kind of play out for you and see what kind of final model you guys end up, coming up with at the end. And I like them. I think they're pretty cool, actually. Pretty catchy.
I like it. Yeah, largely community driven. So Buffer is meant to be. It's a overused phrase, but it's true. By traders for traders. We don't want to do anything that's where there's no demand on the community side for. So the NFT side of things being really deeply community focused. That's very much a communal effort to shape the roadmap for these.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And then okay, so the last question I have kind of on your tokenomics, and for anyone who hasn't read their paperwork on it, just check out their Medium, and it kind of breaks a lot of it down. But the question I have is, you guys do have a large supply that's locked, like 25 million with that 6-month cliff.
Yeah.
And so when that all unlocks, how is that? I know you guys had said like to dictate, what happens with it. But when it unlocks, is it like automatically on the market? And if it is, like, what are the plans to kind of prevent there's not like a death spiral sell off there?
it's not going on the market.
Okay. So it's a reserve that'll unlock and then can be voted on.
Yeah, it'll just basically unlock in the. I think it's in a Genesis vault,
okay.
like a multi-sig wallet. So prior to that unlock event, there will be a vote, and we'll decide based on that. The options are burning. Personally, I'm not a fan. Many people may want to see that, but what's way more exciting is using these funds, because at that point we'll have deployed on several other chains. So the Polygon integration is very close, and we're looking at Optimism, and Base is looking interesting, of course. And to introduce BFR-based trading on these. So same system as with the BLP pool, just trading with the buffer token itself. This would, of course, provide higher payouts, maybe has some higher risk pairs in these, but you wouldn't necessarily have user funds at risk in the liquidity pool. So there's more leeway for more risky stuff on BFR-based trading. So ideally, we could use these funds to provide, say, 5 million in BFR liquidity for BFR-based trading on Polygon, 5 million on Optimism, something like that. These wouldn't hit the market because it's a closed pool. Mm-hmm. The only way they would hit the market is if traders were to win so much they would drain the pool and sell them on the open market. But historically, these pools are very stable because the trader performance kind of balances out with winnings and losses. I mean.
Yeah. So historically speaking, going forward, you anticipate kind of the same general circulating supply remaining on the market.
Yeah, well, there's
not drastically increasing.
The emissions, no. There's the emissions for rewards, of course, and but we're looking at a very, very slow rate of hitting FDV, basically.
Yeah.
These 25 million, they will be added to the circulating supply, but they're not added to any liquidity pool. They're not really tradable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah, on paper, it's a major inflation event, that unlock. But if you look at what happens with the token in reality, it doesn't really affect the situation in the liquidity pools that are already on the exchanges.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I definitely obviously hope for you guys that I know there obviously a lot of people would think, oh, we should just burn it and skyrocket the price, but that would severely limit your ability to kind of follow the roadmap you're working towards. We do have some funds reserved for this BFR based trading, so we can already get that going before this unlock, of course. But yeah, ideally we could do that. This is also open for discussion, of course. Any community feedbacks, any proposals. You could implement a partial burn of these BFR-based trading fees, for example. You would set up BFR pools, and a portion of these fees could be burned, or every time you cross a certain threshold, those could be burned, like something like that. But like an all-out, let's burn a quarter of the supply for hype purposes, I'm not a fan. But everyone will vote what they think is best in the end. But exciting discussions coming up. Yeah, a lot in the works. So it's kind of let's talk a little bit more about some of that stuff, just kind of your roadmap. I mean, you guys have gotten listed on 3 different exchanges so far. What else are you guys kind of looking? And important to note, I think, as well, that we had talked about is that you haven't paid anything to get listed on those exchanges, which is huge. So what other exchanges are you guys trying to get listed on? And then you've already kind of touched on your different moves, for example, MetaVault, partnering with MetaVault to move to Polygon and stuff like that. So just kind of what else you guys got on the horizon for your roadmap that you can talk about?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what our one of our founders put out as free to talk about, and the stuff that still needs to be kept under wraps. So I don't know if you've looked at the product and product development roadmap we put out. There's 2 items on there I want to mention. One is no loss tournaments. They don't sound too exciting, but I think as an onboarding vehicle, they're pretty underrated. You would just basically pay your entry fee to a tournament. So you would basically buy a ticket, and everyone who participates buys a ticket, and these ticket sales would fund the prize pool, and you would get issued play tokens. You can't sell them; they're not worth anything, but it's still not a testnet event. And you would trade and get these prizes distributed from the pool generated from these entry fees. So it's a very easy way for people who maybe just want to try out the platform, maybe not risk USDC or the capital with every trade, but just want to practice, but still have the potential of winning, or just try out different strategies in a mainnet setting where something is at stake. Because you do trade differently on testnet versus mainnet. On testnet tournaments are cool for testing features, but there's nothing at stake, and people behave very differently from how they would on mainnet. So these no loss tournaments, I think, are a great tool to onboard people, to get people to try out the platform, and offer a nice incentive for people who just want to dip their toes into exotic options trading. And the second one is above and below options. So currently we just have the directional trades. So you pick a direction and go either right or wrong. With above and below options, you can select a price range or a strike price that the asset would be above or below at a given time. These are more long-term focused, so not the 5 minutes, or I'll talk about the other one later. That's more if you're trading ranges and you want to make more long-term predictions or hedge other positions, and these would be more attractive to traders. Then there's a bunch of stuff that's not on the published roadmap. So the next one up is 1 minute options. So our current minimal time frame is 5 minutes, and very soon, I think next week, I don't want to make any promises, you'll be able to do 1 minute options. So for me, these would be the most exciting update in a long time, because I do trade 5 minute options a bunch, but it's too much. It's too long a time for me because I can't look away from the chart. I have to check, especially when it's a bigger trade, and sitting there for 5 minutes. These last few seconds are really exciting, but sitting there and waiting it out, it's a struggle. So 1 minute options will be much better for me, because it's one and done. You can click away, check another website for a couple seconds, come back and see the outcome of your trade. Then I'll talk about it, but I won't say exactly what it is. Currently, in order to facilitate the trade, you have to select your direction, wait for MetaMask to pop up with the confirmation for the transaction, because this is what initiates your trade. Once the transaction of your USDC into the pool is confirmed on Arbitrum, this is when your position is opened and the timestamp price is taken. That introduces quite a bit of a delay of a couple of seconds. So especially when you're trading short time frames, these 2, 3, 4 seconds can be crucial and can decide whether you win or lose. We're working on a very interesting solution to basically reduce that to zero, that delay. So that'll be interesting for very active traders who are looking to trade very short time frames. Mm, yeah, I think I've said enough about this one.
Yeah. No, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, some exciting stuff on the horizon. And then how about like any partnerships that you guys, I know you have some really good ones that you've already announced. Anything else that you guys are excited about?
Oh man. Oh, by the way, I gotta hop off in 5 minutes because I have another call to take care of. I hope that's okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're coming up
Yeah.
on the hour, so we're about to wrap it up.
Yeah. We already have a bunch of really exciting partnerships with Factor, with Camelot, with Revest, with OpenOcean, with Trader Joe. So we're very well received in the Arbitrum space as a whole. But I'll tell you, I have about 35, 40 partnership groups open currently for Buffer. So the next most exciting one is, of course, the MetaVault partnership and our integration with Polygon, which is very much just the first step. We're not providing any liquidity or anything. MetaVault provides the liquidity for the trades. They use our contracts, and we share the fees among each other. So that's the most imminent one and the one I'm most looking forward to, because MetaVault, it's a different chain. It's an entirely different community. MetaVault is a different type of platform. So it'll be very exciting to see how that develops.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys go cross chain and see what that does for your growth for sure. So, all right, well, I think we're coming up on that hour. That kind of wraps up the questions I had. I'll give you just the opportunity to whatever last final message you want to put out to the listeners.
First of all, thanks for everybody. Thanks to everybody who tuned in and has supported Buffer so far. There's a bunch of OGs who've been with us since the Binance Smart Chain days and all the various difficult phases Buffer has gone through. I want to give a big shout out to the entire Arbitrum community. The sense of creativity and like true partnership in the Arbitrum space is something I haven't experienced in DeFi so far. I tried a bunch of different chains. I was involved with a bunch of different projects, but what's happening on Arbitrum is really something special. There's so much back and forth of ideas, of partnership pitches, of mutually beneficial integrations. It's not some predatory kind of trying to get one up on a competing project or implementing features they've planned before them or anything of that sort. That happens as well. But the experience so far on Arbitrum has been absolutely amazing. The teams we worked with, the conversations we had, the contacts we made. Best decision to come to Arbitrum. So in general, I'm just extremely excited about the future of Buffer. Very much looking forward to all the feedback from the community, the traders. As I said before, if you have any comments, suggestions, critique of the platform, of how we're running things, do reach out, DM me on Twitter, get into our Telegram or Discord, just talk to us. We're in a phase where we're really paying extremely close attention to what the platform users and the community would like to see, and we're taking the time to implement as many of these improvements and quality of life type things as possible in a short time frame. So again, if you have any suggestions, let us know. Thanks to DeFi Raiders or Relentless for the invite to the AMA. I had a great time and would like to talk about Buffer again sometime soon, maybe around the Polygon launch or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to have you back. Looking forward to it. So, yeah, thanks so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. It's been a great conversation, and I look forward to what you guys have coming.
Take care, man.
All right, you as well. All right, thanks everyone for joining. Really appreciate your time and your support as we continue to build. If you're hearing this now on YouTube for the first time, please hit that like and subscribe to help us expand our reach. We got a lot more coming for you. We'll see you next time.